Now find P and Q of the equation px square minus 8xy plus 3y square plus 14x plus 2y plus q is equal to 0 represents a pair of perpendicular lines. Now over here it is already given that this equation over here represents a pair of lines as well as perpendicular lines. So I can split this into pair of lines also, and what he's saying pair of lines and also perpendicular lines. Okay, so there are two things over here, pair of lines plus perpendicular pair of lines. So perpendicular and pair of lines, I'll use two conditions over here. Okay, one condition is the determinant one, and other condition is a plus b is equal to 0. So I'll use two conditions over here. The determinant of pair of lines will be used over here. So what I'll do is I'll take this question and I'll compare it. So the determinant and a plus b. So determinant, that is the pair of lines, not a determinant. So let's see this. How do you solve this? So initially we'll compare the given equation. So on comparing the given equation with ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. So when I compare this, I get a is equal to p, 2h is equal to minus 8, b is equal to 3, 2g is equal to 14, 2f is equal to 2, and q is equal to c, or c is equal to q. I say c is equal to q. So I get these values. So I'll use both the conditions. The first condition states the determinant should be 0. Okay. The determinant should be 0 and also a plus b should be 0. So determinant, that is a, h, g, h, b, f, g, f, c. This determinant should be 0. Now, whenever I use this a, h, g, h, b, f, a is p, h is minus 4, because if I divide it, g is 2 sevens are 14. So I can find it over here. H is minus 4, g is 2 sevens are 14, f is 1 over here, f is 1. So f is h is minus 4, b is 3, f is 1, g is 7, f is 1, and c is q. So these are the values that you substitute over here, and when you solve this you'll get p into 3q minus 1 plus 4 into minus 4q minus 7 plus 7 into minus 4 minus 21 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is the condition that you get. P into 3q minus 1 plus, okay, now there's not plus over here, I'll take minus 16q, 4 sevens are 28, and this will be 25 into 7. Okay, that is 25 into 7, that is 7 into minus 25 is equal to 0. Okay, now you can leave this condition as it is over here and you can actually go for the second condition. Now you use the second condition, that is, since the pair of lines also represent the pair of lines also represent perpendicular lines, and therefore I can see a plus b will be equal to 0. Now if a plus b will be equal to 0, a is p and b is 3, that will be equal to 0, and so P will be equal to -3. Now I'll substitute this value of P is equal to -3 in the equation number 1. So when I substitute this value in equation number 1, I'll get -3 into 3q minus 1 minus 16q minus 28 minus 175 is equal to 0. So finally we get 3 3s are 9, minus 2 minus plus 3 minus 16q minus 28 minus 175 is equal to 0. Minus 9q minus 16q is minus 25q. 3 minus 20 is minus 25, minus 25, minus 25, 175 is, that comes out to be minus 200 is equal to 0. Now if I divide this, minus 25q is equal to 200, q is equal to 225, 4 is 100, so 25 8 are, that is q is equal to -8, and you get p is equal to -3. These are the two values that you want to find out. So over here, what we have done, to summarize, there are pair of lines, these are pair of lines which are perpendicular lines, so you can use this condition initially as well. Okay, but the main condition is determinant is equal to 0, and when I say determinant is equal to 0, I can say AHG, HBF, GFC is equal to 0. So this is the condition that I use, and this is the condition that I use. So these are the two conditions which are very, very important. So you have to remember these two conditions. This is the first condition. This is the first one, and this is the second one. So these two conditions are very, very, very important. Let's come to question number 8. And the question number 8, find P and Q if the equation so and so represents a pair of parallel lines. Now on comparing the given equation with, on comparing the given equation with ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. You get a is equal to 2, 2h is equal to 8, b is equal to p, 2g is equal to q, 2f is equal to 2, and c is equal to -15. So h is 4 and g is q upon 2, f is 2 ones are 2. Okay, so you got all the values now. Now after this, what we do over here is we use the conditions. Now since the lines are parallel, I can clearly see, since the lines are parallel, the condition that I'll use, h square minus ab should be equal to 0. And since h square minus ab is equal to 0, I can use h is 4. 4 square minus ab means 2 into p is p. So that is 16 minus 2p is equal to 0. So 2p is equal to 16. So p is 2 8 is 16. P is 8. Now also, since I can clearly see p is equal to 8 is given to you, also the lines represent pair of lines. Also we can say lines, that is, the equation represents a pair of lines. The equation represents pair of lines. Equation represents pair of lines. Now since it represents pair of lines, I can clearly see that the determinant should be again 0. So if the determinant is 0, AHG, then HBF and HBF, GHC, GFC is 0. Now I'll put the values over here. A is 2, H is 4, G is Q by 2, H is 4, B is P, F is 1, G is Q upon 2, F is 1, C is minus 15. This value should be 0. Now, if this value is 0, I can clearly see over here that is 2 into minus 15p minus 1 minus 15p minus 1 minus 4 into 15 fours are 60. That is minus 60 minus q by 2 plus q by 2 into 4 minus pq by 2. Okay, pq by 2 is equal to 0. Now we can substitute the value of p over there. Okay, so you can substitute this value now. 4 minus p, 2 into minus 15 into 8 is minus 120, minus 120, minus 1 is minus 121. Minus 4 into minus 60. Let's calculate this also. Minus 4 into minus 60 is plus 240. Minus into minus is plus 4q by 2. And this is again plus 4q by 2 minus, if I multiply this inside, q into, okay, p is 8. Q into q is q square by 2 to the 4. So you can cancel this 2 ones are 2 twos are. So finally, let's see what remains is minus 242 plus 240 plus 2q plus 2q minus 2q square is equal to 0. So this is minus 2q square plus 4q minus 2 is equal to 0. So q square minus 2q plus 1 is equal to 0. So q minus 1 the whole square is equal to 0. So q is equal to 1. So I'm getting two answers over here. P is 8 and q is 1. So that we have used two conditions over here. The first is lines are parallel, that is s square minus ab is equal to 0. And the second condition is AG, HBF, GFC is equal to 0. So we have used two conditions over here.